Welcome to Ball and Ballers. I'm Z, and I've got another show, and I'm back where I belong. I'm back off holiday, back to reality. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe, so I can bring you more content. Hit the notification bell if you like what you see, like what you hear. And we're gonna go through a lot of stuff today to discuss. We're gonna discuss the Fulham and Man United. I was gonna do it Monday, but I was traveling, 4 hours travel back. Then unpacking. I was going to do it originally on Sunday, but then after the game, had to pack. Get ready to travel back on Monday. So it was a bit up in the air. So now that I'm finally back and finally prepped and I can do one today. So today we're going to discuss the Fulham Man United game. We're going to discuss a bit about the positives, the negatives. Going to discuss a bit about Amorim and this Kobbie Mainoo situation and the latest on Hojlund. So quite a few things to get through. So first thing I want to begin with is the Fulham and United game. Now, on this game, we started off the way we finished the Arsenal game. First 15 minutes, Cunha was all over the pitch, shots coming off posts and one-on-one. Bayindir's pass all the way downfield. Cunha got the end of it. Touched it softy because he tried to place it. I'd have just banged it in. But obviously, I'm not a striker for United. So, obviously, my opinion may not count on it. But, yeah, for the first 50 minutes, we thought, yeah, we're going to be scoring left, right, and centre. We're going to get chances. We had 6 chances in the first 10 minutes. And then we just fizzled out. We let Fulham take control of the game. Fulham got into a good place. Fulham were just passing it around. Even Iwobi said in his post-game interview that they knew to get the ball over the midfield. And as soon as they got the ball over the midfield, Bob's your uncle, they had created the space and they got the goal that they needed. And in the end, it became a fair result. I think at the end of the first half, in the first 10 minutes, we had 6 chances. At the end of the first half, we had 6 chances each. So it was not a good game. There was some positives, and then there was some negatives. One of the negatives I'm going to start off with is... Actually, no. Let me start on the positive. Yoro, Alex Crook and Stephen Howson did a stat that really surprised me, and it was that Yoro has never started in a Premier League United win. We've had him for a while now, and he's not started in a Premier League United win. If that don't scream trouble, I don't know what does. But on the day against Fulham, he was by far our best player on the pitch. 100% of the ground duels won, 100% tackles won, 88% pass accuracies, 53 total touches, 6 passes into the final third, and 5 clearances. Can't knock him for that. He was by far our best player on the pitch. And by all means, he went into the off-season, did what he had to do, come back. Him and Mainoo was training a lot, and he's come back, and he's just been world-class for us. But there weren't really much else to be positive about. We had Mount, Cunha, and Mbeumo playing up front on a rotation. 1 minute you had Cunha up front, then you had Mbeumo up front, then you had Mount up front, and it was just rotating solidly. But we just can't score. And it's mad when you got hang on a sec, these 3 strikers, and you can't get a goal, but then Sesko's not to blame because he was on the bench. And I don't understand how you can pay 74, 75 odd million, maybe plus, maybe more than that, on a striker that you just leave on the bench because you don't think he's fit enough for it. Come on, man. You're giving him 25 minutes a game. He's had 50 minutes over the last 2 games. And you wonder why we can't score. So, yes, we have a problem. The goal was an own goal. So, a United player is still, after 2 games, yet to score. I think we're in trouble. And one of the reasons we are in trouble is because of Altay Bayindir. Every time he gets the ball, I worry. Every time there's a set piece, I worry. Every time there's a corner, I worry. Every time there's a cross about to go in, I worry. And let me put my phone on silent. 2 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, I worry quite often every time he's there. And I know we're close to getting Sen Lemons, who's still young. But I've seen some of his highlights. I decided to go and watch some of his highlights. And I was impressed. But playing for Royal Antwerp is different to playing for Man United. But I get the same problem when Onana's on the pitch as well. I just worry every time there's a set piece or every time there's a cross going in. I worry because our positioning isn't really the best. And when this guy's in goal, I just panic. My heart just skips, and a lot of the time I'm just shaking my head because I'm worried they're gonna score. On holiday, believe it or not, there was a lot of United fans, and we were just having a little conversation during the games and matches, and they all just feel like this guy is not the one. Another problem during the game was our midfield. The midfield is really poor. Like I mentioned earlier, with Iwobi mentioning that all you have to do is get the ball past our midfield and bam, 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 you're through. You're beat. That's it. And one of the problems with our midfield is we're playing Bruno FERNANDEZ there as a number 8 when he's effectively a number 10. And I feel like the game against Fulham showed why he's not suited to play in that role. What can I say? He missed the penalty. Walked back, bumped into the ref, blamed the ref for missing the penalty. My opinion on that is you're the team captain. You should effectively keep your head on you, not lose your head when you get a little bump. I walk down the street, I get bumped into somebody. Don't mean I'm going to turn around and say, I'm going to knock you out, blood. Or I'm going to knock you out, geezer. I'm going to punch you in the face. Or then just have a bad day and start having to go at everybody around me and start. Nah, you got to keep your head in the game. It was just a bump. Get your concentration back. Shoot. Not hit it so high up that it hits friggin' Elon Musk's space satellite, whatever you want to call it. Literally just. But you can't be blaming the ref either, because you walked back. You walked into the ref. Ref was walking behind you. Look at your surroundings. As a footballer, you're meant to look at your surroundings. See who's around you. You never. And you can't blame him. You played poor the whole game. And I feel like it's about time somebody else takes the penalty. Because I'm sure you missed one towards the tail end of last season. And he's missed this one. So it's time for you to step aside. We've got Mbeumo. We got Cunha. We can also take penalties. Let them take penalties. Let them get off. Let them score. Let them get the confidence. Let them get the first goal, so they think, yeah, we got confidence, we got a first goal, yeah. Be a penalty, but still a goal. A goal is a goal. So Bruno played 4, and the fact that he wasn't subbed off is a really big problem, because Amorim should have subbed him off, but no. He subbed off Casemiro for Gate, who's poor. He brought on defensive players, scores 1-1, but you bring on defensive players. You brought on Sesko after 65 minutes, but, for Sesko to score, he needs to get service, and I don't know. I feel like Amorim's system just isn't working. We showed up against Arsenal, we didn't show up against Fulham. Tactically, he didn't do much to bring me confidence. He didn't adapt. And I feel like he's just so stuck in his ways on this 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it, that in the game, he does not know how to adapt. And I thought maybe it's a player problem. Maybe he's right. He hasn't got the players. But then he spent over 200 million on three strikers, Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko, and we still can't score. And the fact is, you're leaving Sesko on the bench. I think that does for his confidence. So I don't think. All right, I used to think United were the problem, and yes, maybe in some cases some of the players are the problem. I mean, you got Casemiro who hasn't got the legs. Ugate's just pants. Friggin' hell. I feel like an unborn baby can fucking kick a ball better than him. You know, like when you got the baby in your stomach and they're doing and you put any father would know, you put your ear to, or your head to the mother's stomach and the baby's kicking. Yeah. And I don't really think the 4-3-3 is going to work in the Premier League. If it hasn't worked now, I don't think it will. And I shouldn't really be going into games like the one we've got tomorrow against Grimsby, panicking, thinking whether we're going to win against a League 2 side, I think it is. Give me a sec on that one. Let me just check. I'm sure it's a League 2 side when I checked. Yep, a League 2 side. And I don't want to be panicking against the League 2 side because of the Amorim system, and I shouldn't be. These are games that we clearly are meant to win. But if I'm panicking going into Grimsby, there is a problem, and I don't think this system's going to work. You've got so many number 10s. You got Bruno, who you don't want to take off no matter how bad he plays, and that is the problem. The fact is, Bruno played poor, should have been replaced by Mainoo. Give Mainoo a chance, but no. You left him on the pitch, and that to me is a problem, and I'm still ticked off about it. As you can tell, it's Tuesday. This game happened on Sunday, and I'm still ticked off about it. But this system isn't working. He can't adapt, and he won't take Bruno off. And his substitutions are a bit iffy, to say the least. And you pay 74 odd million for a striker that you don't want to play. And then when the striker does come on, your system doesn't provide him the service he requires. Instead, all you want to do is go down these wings with these wing backs and wingers and all that stuff. But you're not going through the middle where Sesko probably has a chance of scoring. Why don't you just change it to 3-4-1-2 maybe, or 4-3-3? I reckon 4-3-3 would suit a lot better. Put Bruno in that middle role, just behind the strikers. Put the three strikers up front. You got Dogu and Ahmad on the wings, not Dalot. Dalot's poor. Don't like Dalot. I know you like playing him just because he's probably from Portugal. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the reason behind it. But not Dalot, Ahmad, Dogu. And then put in maybe Harry Maguire and De Ligt in the middle. Yoro on the right. Sure, or maybe somebody else on the left. And played that system. But I see how the 3-4-3 can work with the wing backs going forward, pushing forward, and you got the false, but you're starting with a false 9, and when you got a 9 right there to play, ready to go, and Thomas Frank's coming to Tottenham. They've brought in a few players, not many, and they're doing better than we are, adapting. And I don't feel like Amorim can adapt. I think he's so stubborn and stuck in his ways that he can't adapt. And in the end, we're going to end up losing this guy here, Kobbie Mainoo. And I really don't want Kobbie Mainoo to go. I don't want him to leave. Homegrown talent, come from the academy, rose up, became first team, had a breakout season, 23-24, did superb, made the England squad, and now in 2 games you haven't used him, and you could have just taken Bruno off and put Mainoo on just to test him out. But you haven't used him. And my worry is, I think he will start against Grimsby, but my worry is if he doesn't start against Grimsby, And now there's this whole thing about being sold. So let me go to this article. Okay, let me go to this article. So a headline states, Ornstein confirms main decision as issue raised with deadline day deal muted. The Athletics' David Ornstein has revealed Kobbie Mainoo's decision on leaving Manchester United this summer. Before the window closes, Mainoo's future Man United is in serious doubt as he has been an unused sub in the club's first 2 Premier League games for the 25-26 campaign. Head coach Ruben Amorim is clearly not sold on Mainoo as he opted to bring in Manuel Ugarte, or Shigate as I call him, over the England international to replace Mason Mount in the closing stages of Sunday's 1-1 draw against Fulham. Man. But that's where we are with this. And judging by the forums, the other fan channels, the people I've spoken to, everybody, and I mean everybody, and I would say 100% of the fan base wants Mainoo to stay. And I reckon there'll be a big uproar if he does leave, because we see the talent. I don't know why Amorim can't see the talent. Maybe he's just blinded by Bruno. Maybe they've got some sort of maybe they've got some sort of how do I put it? Thing in Bruno's contract where he can't be subbed off. I don't know. Maybe they got some sort of relationship privately that, hasn't aired yet, but maybe that's the reason Amorim just won't take Bruno off. Could be a lot of things, man. Could be a lot of things, but the problem is all of us want Mainoo to stay, and if he leaves, I think a lot of people will see Amorim differently. I'm beginning to see Amorim differently. Before the Fulham game, I was like, Amorim, I can see, we played amazing against Arsenal. We lost 1-0. Could have been 1-1. Could have been 1-0 to us. Could have been, that was basically what we were going through, depending on whether the fouls were given, penalties were given, all that stuff, and goals not given. But against Fulham, back at square one, back to last season, back to disappointment, back to worrying, back to wondering whether we'll beat Fulham or whether we'll beat Grimsby, whether we'll beat Burnley on Sunday or Saturday. So there's a lot of worry going on at the moment, and this guy can't leave. But clearly Amorim's system isn't working, so moving on to more transfer news. Hojlund, negotiations between Napoli and Man United at a final stages on loan with buy option to become mandatory, so it's going to be obligation instead. Talks underway with Rasmus Hojlund and his camp over personal terms again today, with Napoli and Antonio Conte pushing to get it done. I think the deal roughly looking at about 40 million roughly at the end of it, so we won't get that till next year. Obligation, obviously there's going to be add-ons included, and I see him doing well in Italy like he did before, which is the reason we signed him. It's a bit of a slower pace. He'll fit right in. I reckon he'll be used quite often. Look at what McTominay did. It was a Ballon d'Or season. He got nominated for Ballon d'Or. Best player in Serie A. So I reckon if Hojlund does pop off, yes, it's a different league. Yes, it's a lot more slower, but if he does pop off and start scoring, then we know where the problem is. And I've realised that against Fulham, when Sesko weren't getting no touches on the ball, he was so quiet for the 25 minutes, no passes, no shots on target, no nothing, no service. So who do we blame for that? Or do we blame Amorim, or do we blame the strikers? I don't know, the wingers, or the number 10s. But I do really think he'll do well. I reckon I reckon we'll get a here we go about this over the next few days. Personally, I think we will. And I'm hoping to hear something back about St. Lamans as well regarding this. But moving on now to the final piece is this game tomorrow, Grimsby versus Manchester United. Now, I'm worried, as I've mentioned, that Grimsby will probably get a result against us if they can get through our midfield, which shouldn't be hard. So I shouldn't be worrying. I should be like, oh, we're going to thrash them. Yeah, it's a League 2 team. We're going to... I am actually worried. I'm not even going to lie. I had high hopes for this season, and we seriously do need to win this game, and we do need to win the game on Saturday, because then we go into Chelsea and Man City. And I reckon Mainoo will start this game. Also think Sesko will start the game. Also think it'll be Kobbie and Bruno at number 10. I think, to be fair, I think we'll play a lot of the players that we need to play, take out a few players, but I reckon Bruno obviously ain't going to miss, because him and Amorim's relationship is such that Bruno will play every game. And the fact that Mainoo has to compete with Bruno, who never gets taken off, I see why Mainoo wants to leave. But this game, if I had to predict it, I'll go Man United. I'm going 2-0. It should be 5-6, 7-0, but I'm going 2-0, because to us, obviously, to us. So that's basically the full show for you today. And I will bring you more updates as I go on. If I hear more about Hojlund, I'll let you know. Even Mainoo, I'll let you know. From next week, let me talk about next week. So from next week, I'll be doing shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's because we play one game a week. Chances are Friday will probably be the preview show for the fixtures of the weekend. Monday will probably be the show where I discuss what happened over the weekend, if I don't get a chance to do it on the Saturday or Sunday, and bring you more updates. Wednesday will just be whatever news I can get, I'll bring into you. Also from from this week is the first game of the season for the NFL. So on Monday, I'll be bringing you potentially 2 videos, one to do with the NFL and one to do with Manchester United. On the Sundays, I will be bringing you the league roundup of other scores, other things I've noticed around the league, and that's basically where I'm going to set it. So you're going to have 2 videos on Monday, one about Man United and one about NFL. On the Wednesday, you'll have a story about United, and on the Friday, you'll have a story about United, and on a Sunday, you'll have the league roundup, and any news in between that I hear, I'll just jump on and off whenever I can. But times you're looking at, I'm thinking 9 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the for the Man United stuff. The NFL stuff, I'll probably put out midday, like 12 o'clock. So there's that. The league roundup would be probably Sunday morning, about 10, potentially. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna base that, and then the rest of it I'll just work around whatever I can get through. That's pretty much all I have at the moment. I'm trying to see. Oh, yes, that was it. I knew there was something else. With NFL stuff, though, you probably get a Monday night game. You probably get a Sunday. Most games are played on Sunday, but you probably get the Monday night game and a Thursday night game. And if you do, it might change slightly. I might do the NFL video on a Tuesday instead at midday. It's always going to be midday for that video, I reckon. And then Thursday night video will probably be Friday midday. So that's where I'm basing it around at the moment. Because at the moment I'm working around my main job, the DJing stuff that I do as well, the music stuff that I do, and my partner's been diagnosed with breast cancer, so the chemo stuff as well. So I'm doing all that stuff. Hence why I keep saying personal issues that I've had to take care of, and a lot of it's to do with my partner's cancer. My mum was in hospital as well for a bit. So was I, but the main important thing at the moment is my mum's better, I'm better. So it's just my partner's breast cancer. So I'll be working around that as well. So the schedule's there. I will try and stick to it. I'm gonna put something up in a video later this week to finalize the times and the dates. But that's basically how it's going to be going forward from next week, September the 1st. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.